Thank you, Hatim, because I totally forgot. What is this mess? What is this? Close that. Okay. I have no head. We now, okay.
Libation.
Libations. Yes. Hatim, we'll do this libation thing together. We don't hear you.
All right, fam. I want to welcome
Morning.
everybody, and we're gonna pour. I'm holding the calabash. I'm gonna do a verbal libation. She has the water over there. I want everybody to go to the sacred space that we talked about yesterday, and we're gonna pour. And we're gonna call on the Creator. We're gonna ask the Creator to be present with us today, in this moment. We lift up our glass, we pour, and we say, "Ashe."
Shay.
You want me to keep going, or we splitting?
Why don't you just keep going?
Okay, cool. All right, cool. So now we're going to move from there. We're going to move to our celestial ancestors. These are the ancestors that the Creator created to make sure that everything flowed in proper order. We want to call on those Neteru. We want to call on those angels. We want to call on those Orishas. We want to call those energies, bring them present here in this room with us. And we pour and we say, Ashe.
Ashe.
Yeah.
From there, we're going to move to our ancient African ancestors, the mothers and fathers of civilization, the builders of pyramids and other great monuments, the starters of economic systems, the builders of great kingdoms, tribes, and empires. We lift up and we pour for those that we know by name and those that we don't. If you have some names you want to say, by all means, say them now.
That's a
Queen
lean.
Hatep.
Ferguson,
Family.
Eudora Ferguson, William Ferguson, Kelly, Kim.
These the ancient ancestors. Ancient ancestors. This is ancient. We didn't get to hold on to the personal. So we pouring for those that we know and those that we don't know. We pour and we say, Ashe.
Ashe.
All right. From there, we're going to move to all of our ancestors that died during the Ma'afa. We want to lift up and we want to remember those ancestors because hell for an African is being forgotten. And we never want to forget those that made it possible for us to be here. We lift up and we pour for those who died on the inland and being marched into Africa, from the inlands to the shores of Africa. We pour for those who died in those slave dungeons. We pour for those who died on the way to the ships. We pour for those who died on the ship and were thrown overboard. We pour for all those that made it across the ocean and, in a sense, formed a diaspora. We want to lift up and we want to remember all those ancestors, those who were born on this side of the world and were buried in unmarked graves. We lift it up and we pour and we say,
Ashe.
from those that died during the Ma'afa, we want to lift up those universal ancestors. These are the famous ancestors that is always on our tongues. Those ancestors who achieved great things, that even with all of the obstacles that was laid in front of them, they were able to do great things. They kept the midnight oil burning, as they say, and they studied, and they let us know that we were greater than what we was told. We want to remember those ancestors. Right now on my mind is like a John Coltrane, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth.
That's a lean.
Ashe.
Martin Delaney. Martin Delaney.
Ashe. There we go.
Dr. John Henry Clark.
Yes.
Ashe.
Yes. Dr. Carruthers.
W.E.B. Du Bois.
Ashe. Ashe.
Yes.
Booker T. Washington. George.
Ashe.
Marcus Garvey.
Any others? All those we call, all those we don't call. I mean, all those we didn't call. We pour and we say, Ashe. From our universal ancestors, we get to my favorite. We're going to lift up and we're going to pour for our personal ancestors. We want to lift up those individuals upon whose shoulders we are standing. And we want to remember them. And we want to connect with them. And we can start saying their names now.
Can
you hear me?
Ferguson.
Amen.
Stevenson,
Charles
William
Stevenson,
Jacqueline
the
Cook
George
Stevenson.
My
William
Sam Roberts, Texas,
Peterson,
Georgia,
Leonard Lawson. Ashe.
Brown, Margaret Ellis, Wash Ellis, Katie Ellis, Nicky Ellis, John Jeremiah Tapper, John Fuller, Montague Pippen, Animal X, Pat
Leonard
Fry,
Firth,
Malika Kapoor, Dr. Marianne Williams, Coach Kamal, the farmer McDixon, Clark,
Thompson.
Pastor Yusuf
Jackson.
Western, Elder Ajani. Jehudi Mentor. If we didn't say it, Elder Tony West, Elder Gloria Long, because we mentioned her yesterday in conversation. Any others? If there's no more, we lift up and we pour and we say, Ashe. So we done moved through the past. Now we're going to pour for the present moment. I pour for each individual in this room and each individual that want to be in this room. We pour for our culture. We pour for the present moment and the power that all of us hold right now as individuals and the unstoppable power of us all together in this moment. We pour and we say,
Ashe.
From there, we're going to move to our future generations. We pour for our children's children on to infinity. We build for eternity, as Dr. Kelsey always say, and we pour and we say,
Ashe.
We're going to lift up the elements. We're going to pour for the 5 elements, earth, fire, water, air, and the 5th one is the life that they all combine to make. And we say, Ashe. From there, I thought I put a stop to it. Hold on, because it's about to go off. I'm sorry.
Hi, Tim. The time is noon. Early
This thing, all this intelligence. All right. So from there, we're going to move and we're going to pour for all of us in the diaspora. We're going to pour for all 7 directions. We're going to pour for the north, the east, the south, the west, the up, the down, and the center. And we pour and we say, Ashe.
Ashe.
Also, it's one thing we used to do. Is there any words of wisdom, any crystallized wisdom somebody want to share? Proverbs. The one that comes to mind for me is those who are not willing to sacrifice will not be fulfilled. Any other proverbs that anybody want to drop?
Every bird flies with its own wings.
Ooh. Ashe. Any others? Okay. So we lift up and we point, we say, Ashe.
Ashe.
Last one is for any concerns that we have in the village. Any energies that we need to send out for healing, any other issues that we need to pour, or some good shit we need to pour for, excuse my language. Any good things we need to pour for. That anybody want to throw in a circle, because our ancestors, our creator, all that stuff is here right now in this moment. So is there anything that we want, anyone we want to cover? Let's say that. Anyone we want to bless?
A close friend of mine, Shannon Foster, he's appearing to be nearing transition. I want the ancestors to open their arms for Shannon.
Ashe. Dr. Dodley, Baba Dodley, may he recover, as well as Gaylord Thomas, who is one of the founders of the Dissemination that's struggling right now. I want to pour for my mom because it's her birthday, sending out energies. Maybe this might be the year where me and my mom can heal our relationship. I don't know.
1949 was a very good year for your mama.
Yeah, okay. Y'all crazy, but it's cool.
Pour for my first cousin's family, 75-year-old first cousin's transition last week, and the family is struggling.
So her family.
We sending that healing energy out for the family. Anybody else? Don't be shy. Come on now. Because I know there's some other people out here that need to be covered. I know we can't cover them all, but we can at least get one for everybody here.
Bob Ransom, need to cover him.
Ashe. See, there we go.
Ashe.
We want cover. Anything else?
Just give my sister 10 receipts, Stevenson strength. Ashe.
Ashe.
My moon is satisfied.
Peace.
Peace. Umayaya, that is one. I wanted to say the proverb in Kiswahili because I know it, but I've been saying it too slow, so I just said it like that. But
Yo,
next time
okay.
I'll say it in Kiswahili. It's in Dege na Huruka na Mbwa Zake.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Zori.
Asante. One of the things Elder Umayaya and I are trying to learn our proverbs in the African language and to be able to say them in the language. We're trying to learn them.
Yay, Bo.
Yeah.
That leads me to a question. Do they, if we don't say it in our ancestors' language or in our language, are they heard? That was something that somebody spoke to me about
I
some time ago.
That's just, I would say yes. Even if they don't come verbally off our lips, they're in our head and our heart. It's kind of like
Uh-huh.
Sia and Heka,
Ah,
So yes,
And
I
they're
think
coming
yeah,
through the spirit too.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
absolutely.
The
yeah.
only thing that we could lose in it is the nuance in the translation, because I'm gonna
Uh-huh.
cover that a little bit today for the proverb of the
Okay,
day when I do my thing.
okay, that's
Yo,
good.
when I say pause,
Yeah, but that's it. Elder Clifford, we're gonna do the lighting of the candle. Okay, we are in the, like Elder Tony West, Makaru would say, everything starts with the black candle and then spreads out. Although yesterday we also learned that the foundation is the Imani candle. So, Nina Washa Mshuma Hu Itwa Umoja Pia Itwa Imani.
We like this name of Umoja in the name of Imani,
Yes,
on Imani.
yes, yes. Asante. I think, okay, don't fall over. Don't set my plant on fire. Okay, we are now at
Me.
evocation, Elder Kimba.
Right. The voice calls forth the Great Spirit.
And goodness gracious. And if you played your cards right,
The creative power of the universe that gives and sustains all existence forever. Let us adore a moon who through all the who though hidden is the source of all life, all power, and all health. Let us hail Ray, the sun, the highest visible or sensible manifestation of spirit that rises in the eastern horizon as Kepra, the self creating one who shines down at midday as Ray, the eternal creating one, and who goes down on the western horizon as a tomb, the complete one. Let us revere Ptah, the nature and form creating one. Let us call Wasir, to whom we give our dead for life everlasting. Let Jehudi, nature of good, speech, intelligence, and writing teach or inform us. Let us worship Nut, the sky, the divine mother who stretches forth from horizon to horizon, giving birth to all that comes into existence. Let us obey Ma'at, divine sister, who imbues the universe with order, harmony, balance, truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, and love. The voice calls forth the ancestors who abide the spirit and the spirits of our yet unborn children who will carry forth our seed for eternity. Now let this community unite in the celebration of the African spirit and the rededication of another cycle of Ma'at, and right doing. Ashe.
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 Ashe. Thank you, Elder Kimber. I was noticing that in the evocation, we spoke of a number of those netures during the past week. Elder Clifford talked about some of them when we talked about the new year. I noticed on yesterday, Sister Roni, when she was doing the yoga, and some of the postures she did, talked about it. And Elder Brother Hatim mentioned one of them when we were. So if we think about it, those natures are always with us and always on our minds. Okay, next we go on to Elder Clifford with the announcement. You are muted right now, Elder Clifford.
All right. We want to say and wish happy Earth Days to the following. Nation Builder Inya and Day. Hers was the second. Nation Builder Natasha Odie is on the 4th. Elder Barbara Wright's Earth Day is on the 26th to come. We don't have any happy anniversaries listed. So if there's any Earth days or anniversaries that we have missed, please shout them out. Let me go to the big announcements. And by the way, we want us to always look and think about supporting the Black businesses that we actually have within Tawi. They are, I'm going to just as I'm getting to this point, there's Zawadi Books, photography by myself, Elder Daryl Green, officiating weddings, healthy movements and line dancing with Elder Aziza, natural beginning massage with Nation Builder Zuri Mosley, Gory Insurance, A&G Sisterhood Body Hair Products by Sister Amma, Soul Purpose Products by Elder Alona, Kimmit Kinks Natural Hair Maintenance, Elder Danetta Sapphire Mahdi. Okay, along with our announcement for this month, they are per Ankh service for the next month will be September the 13th and October the 11th. They're second Sunday at 11:30 a.m. as usual. Divine Conversation for this month will be August 23rd, and next month, September the 27th, fourth Sunday, 11:30 a.m. Tawi Ask Us Study Group is every Friday at 6 p.m., currently at APDS. The Middle Nature Study class is Tuesday at 8 p.m. Also want to compliment them on their discussion this past Friday on helping us learn the basics of the meta nature and do something as well as having everybody make their own names and at least check and make sure they're done right. The Regional Ask Us Study Group will be having a Zoom meeting on August 13th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. The Daily Spark with Elder Brother Hatim. I'm going to let him give us a little bit more on when that is occurring. The Tawi Association for the Study of Classical African Civilization, ASCAT, is seeking members as before. Join us every Friday, 6 to 8 p.m. We would love to be able to stream that as well if we get enough interest. Please sign up for per Ankh service committees. They are music, talent, food, marketing, fundraising, watoto. Contact Elder Alona. Is there any announcements that we have overlooked or missed or would love to add?
Elder Danetta Mahadi's birthday is August 29. I did not have that on there.
Ah, okay.
Coming up as well. So you and Barbara Wright are real close, and happy Earth Day.
Congratulations.
August 29.
Brother Hatem, you want to explain about the Daily Spark? A little bit more about the timing.
I'll do that when I do my thing.
Okay.
Okay.
I'd just like to emphasize that the Midwest Region ASCAT study group, we meet once a month. We're reading right now Essays in Ancient Egyptian Studies. It's out of print, but Kamal emails out the book, the chapters we're reading. We're on chapter 3, and I'm the moderator for that. It starts at 8:30 on the second Thursday of the month. Also, there's a grammar Madu Netra class that Sister Ricketti is doing. I got your email, but I didn't open it, Brother Elder Kwaku. Do you know she still, give us a little bit more on that?
No, I think it'll start sometime in September. I think we're going to have a meeting to determine the exact day.
Okay.
Once everybody has their input on the days that they're available. So I'll keep you posted once we find out the exact day that it's going to start. The cost will be $300.
Okay.
For a 10-week session.
Yes. And she is how do I want to say, the renowned foundational Madu Netra teacher, Saba, in the United States. She studied with Ovinga. She is phenomenal. And a number of our teachers studied with her.
With her, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
The other thing, Kwaku, that if you could give us anything on, there's a gentleman in our online Sunday study group, Bakra.
Bakra, yeah. Yeah, and I was trying to find his event. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. And I was looking on there. I didn't see anything for today. But maybe I can find it before we leave here.
Okay. And if you could find, because a lot of times, or most of the time, or maybe all the time, those presentations are recorded, and then you can go back out and get them. They're on a BB Toomey. He's a what do you call it? A physical therapist. He's very good. He's made some suggestions for me and another lady in our study group on not being able to go very deep in squats. And he's given us information on how to gradually deepen our squats and make them better. So he's excellent. He really is.
Yeah, very knowledgeable brother.
Yes, yes. I think those are the only other announcements that come to mind for me.
All right.
So Elder Clifford, back to you.
Proceeding forward, I'm going to do the reading of the praise to Amun. I was trying to see if I can quickly clean my glasses, but we're going to try to make do with what we got. All netures are three. They are Amun, Re, and Ptah. They have no companions. Concealing its name as Amun, it has Re as a face. Its body is Ptah. excuse me, the cities of earth are established in perpetuity. Waset, Unu, and the city of the White Wall for eternity. A message was sent from the sky and heard in Unu and repeated in the city of the White Wall by beautiful existence to be set in the official documentation in Jehudi's writing concerning in the city of Amun, which possessed their property. The matter was answered in Waset. A statement was issued. It shall belong to the nine, all that came forth from its Amun's mouth, and the netches were established because of it, according to what was decreed. A message was sent. It shall slay and give life, and life and death come from it for everyone, except the netcher. Amun plus Ray plus Betah, total 3. Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Shame.
Madasi, Dua, Elder Clifford. The Tawi per Ankh of Columbus is committed to, and we repeat 12 different principles that are we need to focus on. And this is the beginning of our new year. It is 6267. And the first one is the recognition of the one created spirit of the universe, a moon or the hidden one. One of the things we've talked about we talked about on Friday night, we've talked about throughout when we get together, and that is there were a number of different nomes along the Nile in ancient times, or a number of different cities or provinces or territories.
Communities.
Yes, and they may have practiced their way they saw creation in a number of different ways, but all of them and all of Africa, they recognize that there's one creative energy, and they call it different things, one creative energy, one creative spirit. And it was in Kemet land, it was a moon or the hidden one. As long as you believe that, however you wanted to recognize it, was okay. So that's one of the things we say here with Tawi Perang, that there's a creative energy that we all evolve from. And there are things that says even the most learned did not really have a name. The hidden one, maybe. So that's our first one. And so we'll start there. And then as we get back to July of next year, we'll be down to our individual personalities. Ashe.
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 So now we go to our Sabeyet, our wisdom talk, our wisdom words, our wisdom teachings. It's done by Elder Brother Hatim today. So we'll bring him to the stage.
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. We hear you just fine.
All right, cool. Going to talk about the Daily Spark. The Daily Spark is something that I do on a daily basis because once again, somebody need to go on and silence their mic, please.
It's a little
I will mute everyone other than you, but I don't see anyone that's not muted.
Well, maybe I'm talking in the background. But anyway,
No, I heard it.
all right. So the Daily Spark is a cultural program that I do on a daily basis. So I went through the whole process this morning where I go through and I create the show in combination with my work with the AI and stuff like that, creating the cartoons and stuff like that, because I believe culture is something that we need to immerse ourselves in. Well, actually, it needs to be around us. But because we are in a special situation, really, we are in a crazy position because we have to fortify ourselves in our culture. Most people just exist in it. It's sort of like the story that I often tell about the fish, right? The two young fishes swim in one direction, the old fish is coming from another direction. And as the two younger fish pass the old fish, hopefully y'all know this story, the old fish look at the two young fish and say, "Hey, beautiful day, young man." They say, "Yes, it's a beautiful day." He say, "How the water?" And they look at him in amazement, and he keeps swimming, and they swim past him, and they look at each other and say, "What's water?" Unfortunately, we don't exist in our culture to where we could be like that, where it could be like we are immersed in it and we don't see it. For us to get into our right culture, we have to consciously push ourselves into it. That's through the exercises. That's through the reading of the Proverbs. That's through the pouring of the libations. And these are things that us, being a conscious community, have to move into on a daily basis. So I do shows like at one point in time I was doing the daily toasters to lift up our ancestors on a daily basis. This one is more of a idea to kind of spark individuals to really start living our principles. So when I talk about the daily spark, the spark that I'm talking about is the spark of lighting your personal principle every day. Not only the personal principle, but the principle of the day. So to start off, I want to first let y'all know we are standing firmly on the day of Amani. So we want to give all of the Amani babies that's in the house or who might listen to this later, want to give them a round of applause. But knowing exactly where we are, we're standing on Amani. In the day of Amani, we are in the week of Ujima. We are in the cycle of Nia, and we are standing in the year of Ujima. So we are in the week of Ujima and we are in the year of Ujima. So the person that will be born on this day will be a double Ujima. So, and the reason I do the calendar like this is because it gives us the opportunity to have the discussion either amongst ourselves or by ourselves about our principles. And knowing how our minds work, as I told us last time, if I put something on my mind, I will be able to go out and see it everywhere I'm looking. Everywhere I look, I'm going to be able to possibly see and find it. So every morning, I'm trying to get people set into seeking out our stuff first. Let the world be the world. Let the world have their things. But far as us being a conscious community, being the Tawi village, being Giame, being Simba, being Simsa, being any of these conscious organizations and anybody listening to me, your job is to go out, and when you out in the world, even in your home, where are you practicing the principle? And the principle of the day is Amani. Those of you that are a little bit more advanced and you've been calling the days Amani and you're able to see it, now, what is the ultimate lesson that you're learning about Ujima? Because we're in the week of Ujima. And if you want to go even deeper, you'd be like, cool, then for this next 49 days, the overarching lesson is about purpose or Nia. And if you want to go even bigger and you've been deeper on it, all right, cool. What is the ultimate lesson this day today is teaching me about the year? And the year we are in is Ujima. I'm setting our space and I'm setting our time, right? Because it's like, boom, if we don't take it back, who will? And I can't sit around and wait for us to finally decide that we're going to start taking our time back. So I had to come up with something. So I'm going to run through what I do for the show. Every morning I have a process that I go through as far as creating. So the first thing that pops up for me, because automatically my agent, it's called my AI agent, my African intelligence agent, my divination system goes out and it finds a proverb for me every morning. So I wake up to the proverb. I wake up to the algorithm. It goes out at about 2:00 in the morning and pulls the proverb, and it looks around for what happened in the past and what's going on now and what the ancestral algorithm is, and then it selects the proverb. So the proverb it picked this morning was very problematic for me because when I first read it, I didn't understand, which you'll hear in the haikus that I do, because part of my daily exercise is me formulating haikus for the day, right? Practicing that subtractive self-mastery, right? Learning how to get rid of the things I don't necessarily need in my writing, in my lifestyle and whatever. Boom. But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But the proverb that came up, and this gets into the question that was asked, right? Does the proverb lose power if it's not said in the language? So I said, damn, all right. I get up, I look at the proverb, and the proverb of the day is, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. I said, well, damn, most of the supporters in Tawi is women. I don't know if I should use this damn proverb. Machine, what is you trying to do to me? Right? This is a South African proverb. And it says, you strike a woman, you strike a rock. So I have to now do my research, because usually I don't have to, for a lot of these proverbs, it kind of, for me, I'm like, damn, I'm sorry, cool. So you find out when you do the research on this proverb that the proverb is incomplete. It's sort of like the Immovable proverb. A person is a person because of other persons, right? Or I am because we are. And we stop there, but actually it is because I am because we are, and we are because I am. So it's a complete cycle, and we think that it's okay to drop it off, but you lose context when you don't define it properly. So I'm looking at this proverb: you strike a woman, you strike a rock. So in South Africa, the particular rock that they are talking about is a rock that women use to grind grain. They use this rock, and this rock is a very dense rock, and it's a very hard rock, right? And this rock is the foundation of their culture, because it helps them prepare the food. So what this proverb is saying is, at least from my perspective, I would love to hear, so write this down so that when we come back and have divine conversation, we can hit on this, right? We can hit it and have a deep discussion about this. Now, what I took from that was this stone if you speak Zulu, this stone that they're mentioning is a very dense stone, and it represents the pillar or the foundation of the culture. The woman represents the foundation of the culture, and when you strike a woman, you are striking the foundation of the culture. Now, but the end of the proverb that they don't say is this: you strike a woman, you strike a rock. You strike a rock, you will be crushed. You cannot attack the foundation of a healthy culture and walk out without any issues. When you strike the foundation of a culture, the bedrock of a culture, the thing that we stand upon, you cannot do that without being crushed. Now, so this brings up a lot of different things for our community, as far as how we treat women, how we deal with women, and if the foundation of our culture is built upon women, are we treating women in the way that they need to be treated in order for us to have a healthy culture? Or are we looking at women from the lens of our enemies? That's just for me, but I'll come back to that, because I start off with the proverb because oftentimes I don't know whether it's going to be covered adequately in the text, so I do that. So now, the next step that we are going to go through, I share the ancestral algorithm for today. So now the focus, which I usually forget to give, the focus for the ancestral algorithm for Imani is overcoming doubt and the program of fear. Once again, this algorithm is designed to help you overcome doubt and the program of fear. Since I created this using the language of computers, it throws something back at me in the language of computers. So the particular ancestor algorithm, I'm gonna need your help with this, right, is I delete doubt and install absolute conviction. Now, when we say these algorithms and when we say the loops, we have to say them with our chest, right? We have to say them with emotional power, which will force it into the universe, force it into us, change the vibration, and work. I know it sounds kind of spooky, but our ancestors dealt with a lot of this stuff. So now I want y'all to say it with me. I delete doubt. Come on. Come on.
Delete doubt.
There we go. I delete doubt.
I delete doubt.
I delete doubt.
Say it. Say it with your chest. I delete
I
doubt
delete the motherfucking doubt.
I delete doubt
and install
and install
absolute conviction.
absolute conviction.
I delete doubt
I delete that.
Delete
I
doubt
delete doubt
and install
and install
absolute conviction.
absolute
absolute
conviction.
conviction.
When
I
we're
delete
working,
doubt.
hey, there we go. There we go. Start feeling when we start using our proverbs, when we start using that crystallized wisdom, these heuristics, right? We have to invest the emotional content, the emotional energy behind it because it helps it. It helps it comes alive, right? One of the proverbs out of the African openness to the tree of life says that an individual cannot be resurrected without embrace. We cannot bring our culture to life without embrace, without that, because that embrace, when you hug somebody, you usually hug them with that emotion, right? Or at least you're supposed to. Some of us, we real good at fake hugging. We'll hug them and we'll pat them on the back. But those of you out here that really know about hugging, when you see somebody and you really, really want to hug them, there is an emotional intent in there. I had one of my young students. Well, she ain't quite as young as I remember her, but she was at the school one day, and she hugged me, and I was kind of thrown back because I'm like, damn, I'm like, oh wow, hey, I mean, my back cracked. She said, that's the way you want me to hug. That's the way you talk about hugging. I said, I'm sorry. She hugged me with emotional intent. Now, where my mind went wasn't her problem, but she did it with emotional intent, and she did exactly what her uncle had told her to do, right? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. So now when we are throwing these words out, we need to throw them out with that embrace, and that embrace comes with our emotions, right? Europeans or West Asians know about using emotions to charge things. Because if you look at this whole election process that they got going on, they try to move your emotions. They don't care about what you're thinking. They understand that the human being is moved by emotions. So they invoke your emotions. And what I'm saying is, if we want our culture to be real, and we want to manifest things through our culture, and we want to manifest things in our life, and I hate using terms like that, manifest, it sounds so eerie. We have to invest emotions into it, right? I learned that in martial arts. You got to invest your emotions into it. I learned that about working out. You have to invest your emotions into it. Now, also, this helps you start learning how to control your emotions. Because sometimes we invest our emotions in things that really don't even deserve our attention, family. Our people were masters, and we understood that every aspect of our being was something very powerful. So he's very selective about what we invested it in. So I delete doubt and I install absolute conviction. Many of us move around with doubt. We move and we live in doubt. And it benefits the system for us to continue operating in doubt. What this algorithm is reminding us about is that in many cases, we need to go and let that doubt go and start operating in absolute conviction. Now, the way, and I'm going to tell you this, once you start really looking at the world through the lens of your own culture, it gives you a certainty that nobody can break. Because who's going to tell you about your shit? Excuse my language. Who gonna tell you? Who could tell you more about your stuff? Who could tell you more about the thing that you waking up looking forward to embracing, looking forward to learning about? See, family, every day when you wake up, one of the first things you need to do is remind yourself about your culture and who you are, because the whole day people are going to be battering you, trying to make you forget who you are. Now, let me tell you something about this whole naming convention piece, because I'm gonna try to get to my script. This is why Brother Hatem needs a script. I wanted to mention this yesterday. Names, right? When you name a thing, you have power over a thing. This is why the highest creator does not have a name. We talk about the unknown, right? When you name a thing, you can control a thing. Family, take possession of your name. If you're going to keep the name that you have, invest that energy in there, define it so that every time you hear your name called, you hear the thing that you set for your life and not the thing that other people intend for your life. All right, so now, delete doubt, install absolute conviction. And you do this by, on a daily basis, having some form of practice that plugs you directly into your culture. First thing in the morning. First thing in the morning. When I'm waking up, what I started doing is I started doing the countdown meditation that I do with y'all. Or I'm drinking my water and I think about the song, drink your water, boom, boom, boom. I have practices that I do, right? And getting up and having to start my day off doing this, what I'm doing with y'all right now is something I do every day. I talk to my wife, think I'm crazy. I talk to myself every morning. I get on here, might be 5 people listening later on, but at that point in time, I'm talking to myself. I'm talking to my culture. I'm talking to the universe. This is what I want to happen. This is what I want to manifest. So I'm gonna talk to it until it's there. Now, that's why I had to come up with the term I'm committed and not crazy. But anyway, so that moves us to the loop, the Ubuntu loop for the day. So for those that don't know, hopefully everybody here knows, but those that might be listening later, because also, and when we do stuff, family, realize that you're not, especially when we're recording, we need to always remember we are not just recording for us right now. We may be recording for somebody 2,000 years from now. Like when our ancestors wrote that stuff on the wall, please realize they wasn't just writing it for them. As Dr. Kelsey wants us to always keep on our minds, we are building for eternity. So we're writing when we're recording and when we're doing the stuff that we do on Zoom, we need to be keeping track of it because we need to make sure that we understand that we are building for eternity. How do you want to be remembered? Because I got all these shows. My kids gonna be able to come on here and they're gonna be able to see their dad in the raw. And I'm gonna be very satisfied with what they see because every now and then I'm gonna make them laugh, I'm gonna make them think. And on any given day of a year, right? Because remember, we got our years and we got it broken down into where you don't even have to have the dates. So my child will be able to look up on Imani Day, during an Imani year, during a Imani week, right? And on that date, they'll be able to see what I was thinking exactly at that point in time. Period. And it's like we build it for eternity. We have the tools to do that now. So for the loop today, the word is devoted. Everybody say devoted. You ain't got to turn on the mic, but just say devoted. This is the word of power for the day. Devoted, deeply and fiercely loyal to the victory of our people and our principles. Deeply, fiercely loyal to the victory of our people and our principles. That's devoted for us today. And the loop goes, I am devoted because we are devoted. And because we are devoted, I am more devoted. I am devoted because we are devoted. And because we are devoted, I am more devoted. I am devoted because we are devoted. And because we are devoted, I am devoted. You see the loop? And you could build up on that energy. It goes like, it's that figure 8 that I painted on the board, that infinity piece. It moves on. And you could just play with this in your mind. You could play with it when you go to that sacred space that you have in meditation. Because let me say this to you as well. You can actually do the countdown that I did. Relax yourself. Count down, not even know the symbology of the numbers. Just count down, get to that point, and tell yourself, I want to go to a sacred space, a space where I feel safe. And I want to sit here. And I want to sit here, and I want it to feel like I've been here for 2 hours. And I want to come out totally rested. And you'll be able to do that. Because time is not the same when you start going inside yourself. When you go inside yourself, you can experience a large amount of time internally that would equate to a short amount of time in the external world. It's sort of like that movie, what is it, Inception? Anybody seen the movie Inception? Oh, no. Okay. All right. Damn, I'm sorry. I'm telling on myself.
Yes.
Okay. Thank God. All right. Woo.
Yeah.
I thought I was alone.
I seen it.
But
I was just
Inception,
muted.
okay. Inception is a movie about a dream. They're like dream masters. And they get inside people's dreams and they change people's minds. They make money doing this. They figure out how to get into dreams. They get you into a dream state and then they inject themselves into your dream state and manipulate you. Right? And what you find out is that on certain levels, as you go deeper into the dream state, time changes. So for you, when you're meditating, time changes. Inside, you can experience a large amount of time that is different than here. Now, I'm gonna give you a prime example. I like mushrooms. All right. Look at Mama Malone's face. Okay. I like psilocybin. It scares me, but I like psilocybin. I took psilocybin one time and I looped in a life at least 30 times within a 2-hour period from birth to death, 30 times. Now, I'm just letting y'all know it's stuff out here that we have no concept about, but our ancestors knew about. That same state that happens with psilocybin, you can produce by mastering your personal meditation. Now, I want you to understand, in a 2-hour period, I want you to understand, from birth to death, I experienced these lives. Now, y'all can look at it and be like, oh, that's silly, that's imagination. But that shit was real as hell for me at that time in the state that I was in. I felt the pains, I felt the joys, I felt the victories, and I did it again and again and again. Psilocybin just basically gets your body to release chemicals that's already in you. This is why our ancestors focused on us getting into ritual states. Sometimes they use medicines to help with that, but you don't necessarily need the medicine to get to those states. The medicines just make it a little bit easier. So, let me give it. This is why I need a script, family. This is why I need a script. I'm going to try to get y'all out of here. So, I am devoted because we are devoted. We are devoted because I am devoted. And devoted is defined today as deeply, fiercely loyal to the victory of our people and our principles. Now, if you look in the messenger, I gave the Telegram address for those that want to join us on Telegram. You can join over there and you can ask all the questions you want. Not right now, but after I get done, I post up the algorithm of the day with a cartoon as well. I post up the proverb of the day with a cartoon as well. Eventually, I'm gonna start putting the loops up, the Ubuntu loops. But I say the Ubuntu loop, but I don't get a definition of the word because I want people to understand that in many cases we have to learn how to take control of definitions. Because those of I'm a Kuji Chagalia baby, and definitions are very important to me. They're very self-determination is about defining ourselves, defining myself and ourselves for ourselves. And for me, that has always been something that I try to do, right? For example, when I do when I do Tai Chi, I'm not pushing Chi. I'm not learning about Chi. I'm learning about Ashe. Even in the system we got, I don't even look at the chakras in the same way people look at chakras. I look at chakras from our lens. So for me, the base chakra is Imani. The top chakra is Umoja. I put our names on all of that stuff. I even got the colors. When you look at the colors, Imani is red, moving up to Kuumba, which is orange, moving up to Nia, which is yellow, moving to Ujima, which is green, moving to Ujima, which is blue, moving into indigo, which is Kuji Chagalia, and last but not least, violet or purple, which is Imani. I invest damn near all my time, even at work. I'm figuring out how can I look at this concept from our perspective, because if I don't do it, who else is going to do it? I have to figure out, how do I deal with our children from our perspective? How do I get this information across to my listeners from our perspective? How do I get this across to the staff from my perspective, whether they accept that shit or not? Because like I told you, in many cases, we have to be comfortable with making people feel uncomfortable when we enter the room. Your presence alone is more powerful than you even know. And it shatters and it shakes to the very foundation all of this Western education that people have. Because you bring something that they have been trying to destroy and have not been able to kill. That's how powerful you are. So now, and usually before I get into my script, I go down my haikus. The haikus I wrote for the day is: Comedic New Year has passed us by once again. Did you grab power? So I'm asking myself questions, and I'm also asking the people that listen to me questions. Our new year went past again. Did you just allow it to flow through, or did you grab some of that ancestral power that was there? Right? I mean, because like I said, if we don't take our own stuff seriously, and this is what a lot of people that's around us going to have to really start getting. If you ain't taking it seriously, you need to get the fuck away from me. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me because, like I said, we bought food for 60 people, right? And I got people that was calling me during and calling me afterwards, asking for advice, wanting to vent. And what I'm going to start telling people is, you know what? I covered that on my show 2 weeks ago. You got to go into the catalogs and start finding that shit. Because what I'm starting to understand as I get older, right, is that, once again, as I've been telling people, nobody will respect what's yours more than you, nor should they. If you can have me for free, why should you wait? You don't have to waste your time. I got you. And I understand. And family, y'all need to understand too. No is a sacred word. You heard me, Elder Alona? No is a sacred word. Your no is sufficient. And that's what you start telling motherfuckers when they ask you why. My no is sufficient. If I told you yes, would you ask me any questions? Then don't ask me questions when I say no. Your no is sufficient. Say it. Say it with your chest. Say it.
No.
No. Say my no is sufficient.
My no is sufficient.
My no is sufficient.
Say it with
My
your
no is
chest.
sufficient.
You know what I'm saying?
No is
Because
sufficient.
because you got to remember, we feel bad about saying no, I believe, because of the trauma we have come out of. Because as a people for so long, we could not tell people no. And we had to make people feel comfortable around us. We had to figure out how. We know how to make anybody in a room feel comfortable. We can make anybody laugh. We know how to do it. Why? Because we had to do it to survive. I'm saying it's time for us to come up out of that. It's time for us to come up out of that. I'm sorry. But anyway, Comedic New Year went by. Hopefully you got something out of it. If you didn't, guess whose fault that is? I don't feel for you at all. You know what I'm saying? All right. Here's one that I wrote when I ran into the proverb. The proverb shook me because in the first reading, no understanding. Now, for those that don't know, a haiku is I can only go 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. So a lot of the stuff I have to cut off and still try to get the idea across. And this is symbolic because we talk about self-mastery. Because as I read my script, I ain't even reached my script yet. That's crazy. As I read the script, you're gonna hear me use terms like via negativa and subtractive self-mastery. We don't believe in Giame that you get better by adding more stuff to your life. We believe you get better by subtraction. You get better by removing things out of your life that no longer serve. You get better. You become smoother. When you become more efficient, if you want to use those type of terms, when you start subtracting things out of your life. In fact, you uncomplicate your life because when you add something new to your life that you do, you throw other things off. But because you don't know how they say that when you add something to a complicated system, it breaks it down in ways that you have no idea. You couldn't predict it. You add something to a complicated system. Your life is a complicated system. When you add things to it, you are going to run into things that you didn't even think about. So in order to improve, you have to start learning how to subtract things first. Because you know how things fit in your life. And when you remove them, you already know how it's going to affect your life. You're going to get more time back. You might even get less, you might have less stress. So we need to start looking at certain things and start subtracting them. So now the proverb shook me because in the first reading, no understanding. I have no understanding of that proverb. And because I didn't have the cultural or the language grounding in Zulu to look at that proverb, I couldn't break it down because I'm like, damn, you hit a woman, you hit a rock. I could go from my understanding. I think a woman's hard. She always have to be strong, blah, blah, blah. But then when I went into it and I started breaking it down and I started looking at it, started doing my personal study outside of what this AI is telling me, I said, oh, wow, that's dope. All right, next, stand on principle. Culture will rise to protect those that know the truth. When we stand on our principles, when we stand on our culture will rise to our defense. We have to know this. Remember the base of that pyramid. We got to have this, either it's real or it's not. For those that don't really take it as real, they need to get away from us. Because their energy, because like I said, I didn't even get into this, but maybe I did. In Ubuntu, I wrote an article. It's called the Ubuntu Covenant. Right? If you are in a covenant with people and we does not believe in the stuff that you are in, when you say your shit, it makes it work in the opposite. It does not become stronger. You need to put yourself in the Ubuntu loops that empower your life. So you got to put yourselves in the we's that are moving you towards what you want to be, towards where you want to be, rather than surrounding yourself with people You know what I'm saying? Because in many cases, we don't even know what's on a lot of people's minds that's around us. Actually, you do, because you can look at what they watch. You can look at you can look at what they're reading, if they're even reading. You can look at how they conversate. You can see how they believe for real, and you be like, damn, that energy is rubbing off on me. Be careful. All right, last one, and then I'm gonna move into my script so I can get y'all up off of here. I appreciate y'all patience. Did my forms today and my verbal libations led to sacred space? I got them doing the forms because I got my stuff from I'm learning from Master Green, and I go through my forms every day as part of my process. And today I was able to move directly into, after I did my verbal libations for my personal ancestors, I was able to move into that sacred space. Now, it felt real good today. So I'm just throwing it out there. So now I'm going to get to the script. Do I got enough time to get to the script? Y'all ready? I don't want to bore y'all.
Yes, I think I'm not bored. I don't know about anybody else.
Okay.
I got a number of
All right.
and things for our divine conversation, though. I wrote them down.
Okay. All right. I know. So the title, I usually don't get a title of the thing because there's a big old picture in front of it. But the title for this one is The Immovable Rock of Absolute Conviction. Deleting the doubt code, standing tall, unseen, serene, red fire in chest. That is the official haiku for the day is deleting the doubt code, standing tall, unseen, serene, red fire in chest. For those that don't know, the color for Imani is red. Greetings to the tribe, nation builders, warriors, and elders. Today, under the sacred red frequency of Imani, faith for the uninitiated, we stand upon the foundational bedrock of who we are. In the Geometry journey system, faith is not a passive wish, nor is it a blind hope thrown carelessly into the wind. Imani is the active, immovable red frequency of absolute conviction that sees and claims victory long before the physical battle ever manifests on the horizon. When we align our movement with our calendar, Imani brings us face to face with faith in all its power, urgency, and ancestral fire. Today's daily upgrade delivers a direct non-negotiable command from our ancestral algorithm. I delete the doubt and install absolute conviction. When we connect the spiritual software upgrade with the historic Zulu proverb honored on this date, I usually don't like giving a date, it's August 9th, because once again, I never know. I'm doing it for the future. I'm not even going to try to define and say that word. You strike a woman, you strike a rock. The ancestral message becomes unmistakably clear. On this historic day in 1956, over 20,000 women of all backgrounds marched in unbroken unity to the Union Building in Pretoria, standing in 30 minutes of silence, unyielding defiance against the oppressive apartheid pass laws. They did not bow. They did not flinch. They did not allow fear to shrink their posture, nor did they permit doubt to compromise their collective stance. They proved to the entire world that when a community grounds itself in moral authority, divine alignment, and sovereign identity, it ceases to be fragile clay that scatters under pressure. It becomes an immovable rock, or the word they got is imbokodo, that shatters whatever hammer attempts to strike against it. Remember the proverb, the end of the proverb says, and you will be crushed. In our journey away from the negativity of blame, shame, and guilt towards a life of peace, power, and joy. And I want to send shots out to Elder Wakesa, and we need to bring Elder Wakesa back because he's giving real tools. I'm just throwing it out there. And moving us towards a life of peace, power, and joy, true self-mastery requires via negativa, the subtractive approach. For too long, our people have been fed the false narratives that to overcome hardship, we must do more, perform more, carry more, and add extra weight to our already heavy shoulders. But the elders' wisdom teach us the exact opposite. True power is revealed not by adding clutter or taking on extra baggage, but by scraping off the buildup that hides our original divine brilliance. Doubt is a malware program injected into our consciousness by a world system that profits from our disorientation, hesitation, and self distrust. Doubt is the insidious inner whisper that questions your purpose, shrinks your posture, causes you to second guess your DNA, and make you freeze on the threshold of victory. To walk the Giambi path, you must execute an immediate code override. You do not negotiate with doubt. You do not re-examine doubt. You do not nurture doubt. You delete the code completely. When you install the doubt virus from your when you uninstall the doubt virus from your mind, a radical shift happens across your entire existence. First, your mind body alignment shifts. Your breath deepens into the kuumba spot below your navel center. So if you take your two fingers and you put them on your belly button, that is the kuumba spot in your chakra. They call it the Dan Tien in the Chinese thing. I don't even try to say the word in the Indian piece, but for us, that is the kuumba spot. Okay. All right, I lost. Okay. First your mind and body alignment shifts. Your breath deepens into the kuumba spot. You should be always trying to breathe down into the kuumba spot below your navel. When you consciously breathe, your spine straightens, your chest expands, and your present commands sacred space without ever needing to raise a voice. They know who you are, just in how your vibration change. So, third, collective power unlocks just as those 20,000 women tied their individual wills into a single, unbreakable fortress of resistance. Your personal conviction reinforces and elevates the entire tribe, the entire village, the entire nation, or whatever we call ourselves. To reveal the pure, radiant red frequency of Almighty today, we must actively scrape off the false narratives that have accumulated like rust on our spirits. We must drop the weight of seeking external validations from institutions that were never designed to affirm our humanity. We must shed the illusion of fragility, the lie that tells us we are breakable, soft, or easily scattered by the wind of hardship. We must scrape off the habits of over-explaining ourselves to those who lack the vision to see where we are going. Damn, shots fired. And release the heavy burdens of carrying other people's insecurities, guilt, and fear.
Ashe.
I need a second. Give me a second. So, look back through the golden tapestry of our history, from the Underground Railroad, past charts in secrecy, to the quiet resistance in the fields, to the fierce defiance of mothers standing on the front lines of freedom. Our ancestors survived and thrived because they operated from absolute conviction.
Ashe.
The question is, are we? Do we have an absolute conviction about what we're doing, about what we stand for? And if we don't, what do we have to do to get that? I already told y'all, but I'm just asking the question. They did not wait for conditions to be perfect. They did not wait for conditions to be perfect. They did not wait for conditions to be perfect. They did not wait until they had the money. In fact, they might have been listening to Dr. Mariba Kelsey, because he's old enough to have been back there, because Dr. Mariba says we have everything we need in order to do whatever it is we want to do, because we're looking at all of the resources except for the one that we have, the human resource that we have operating in our village right now. Let me stop. They did not wait for the storm to pass. They carried a fire within them that burnt far hotter than the fire around them. The fire for us has to be hotter than the fire of somebody that want to testify to us and want to tell us their story and want to tell us how such and such saved them and want to tell them and want to tell us about the fabulous of their history. Our fire has to burn hotter. In fact, your fires will burn so hot that immediately when you look at them, they already know they might be talking to the wrong one. Like my elder Nomo used to tell me, he said, I couldn't wait for Jehovah's Witnesses to come knocking on my door. I would invite them in, pull out my film projector, and I let them do their thing. And they say, listen, I'm going to listen to you. But after you get done, you're going to listen to me.
I say.
Swear to your God. You swear? Okay, cool. All right, cool. And Nomo would run through his whole presentation for them after they ran through his. That fire in him was burning hotter than theirs. And you know, after about 3 of them came through and got that treatment, guess what started to happen? I got a question. I haven't seen a Jehovah's Witness in a long time. Are they still hitting the streets? I'm just asking.
Not like they used to.
Maybe they doing it online. They sending you random emails. I'm just joking. Anyway. They did not wait for the storm to pass to carry the fire within them that burnt far hotter than the fire around them. When you dive into our sacred text, whether you're reading what it ain't sacred, but whether you're reading the Warrior's Handbook for Life's Journey, African Openness to the Tree of Life, my book, The Player's Pyramid, Haiku, 7 Sticks, you realize that true worship is never about picking unnecessary physical fights. It's about the internal discipline of mastering the mind, standing firm in truth and refusing to let the noise of the world disturb your internal peace. Now, I could throw my author page up, but if you got the link for my dot card, you got all that. Whatever trial stands before you today, whether in your family, your health, your business, your creative labor, or your spiritual growth, remember that you carry the bloodline of conquerors, builders, and sovereign mothers. Strike against the rock of absolute conviction, and it is the hammer that breaks, not the stone. Stand firmly in your sovereignty, declare your identity, walk with the certainty that victory is already written. And as Mama Margarita always say, we will win. But I'm going to say we have won. We have won. We have won. Ashe. I'm done.
Ashe.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Teach, teach, teach. Tell the truth. Thank you, Hakeem.
Am I supposed to close it or what? Your mic ain't working.
Thank you, Hakeem. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
I hear you. Elder Lona, what's next? She can't hear me? All right, so I guess
Wait a minute, wait a minute. She can't unmute herself. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, okay.
Now can you? Okay, wait a minute. I'm working it.
How Elder Donata is able? Miss Sapphire is unmuted. Miss Sapphire is unmuted.
Okay.
I was supposed to hear that. That's what that was about.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. Hold on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we need to. Oh.
I'm on mute. I will unmute.
Thank you, Tim. Kimber.
I'm trying. What do you? I'm doing host tools and I can't. I want to keep.
All right. Hold on. I'll do it. Hold on.
Okay.
I'll do it. I just seen the program. Hold on. What exact? All right, cool. I got 8 pages. What page should I be on? 2. All right, let me go to page 2. Right. All right. Okay. Read that. Or
no, sorry. Read the offering and then pledge to my aunt.
All right. We know that Tawi is a nonprofit. We know Tawi is a nonprofit organization, and we are always seeking donations so that we can further build upon what we are doing. Of course, those that don't know, we are the major host of Kwanzaa in Columbus, Ohio. We carry forth, as we had this past week, we carry forth the programming for the Kemetic New Year. And of course, we have other things that we have done in the past that we'll start redoing. Like in May, it's Malcolm X Day. And I think in August there is Martin Delaney Day, as well as what's his name is born this month too. Actually, we celebrate Black August. We might just need to just pick that up. Black August. For those that don't know, look it up. So you could hit us up on I don't know, do we do Cash App yet? We don't do Cash App. We got PayPal, or we got Cash App, we got PayPal. I don't have the links up here, but we could make sure that those that are interested could get the links. You can contact me or contact Elder Lona for those that might be listening later and you want to come in here. So now we're going to end with the pledge to my aunt. If you could repeat after me. My art is great.
It's great.
Great.
Its value is lasting.
Its value is lasting.
It has remained.
It has remained
unchanged and unequal.
And unequal.
Since the time of its creator.
Since the time of its creator.
It is a plain path.
It is a plain path.
It is a plain path.
Even for the ignorant.
Even for the ignorant.
Those who violate its laws.
Those who violate its laws
are punished. My act urges moral excellence.
My act urges moral excellence.
In all one does.
In all one does.
So no fault can be found in your character.
So no fault can be found in your character.
My art is truth.
My art is truth.
My art is justice.
My art is justice.
My art is righteousness.
My art is righteousness.
My art is balance.
My art is balance.
My art is order.
My art is order.
My art is harmony.
My art is harmony.
My art is reciprocity.
My art is reciprocity.
Do that which is right.
Do that
which is right.
That you may live long on earth.
That you may live long on earth.
Think my art.
Think my art.
Speak my art.
Speak my
art.
Do my art.
Do my
art.
In secular and sacred situations.
In secular and
sacred situations.
My art will ensure.
My art will ensure
A mutually beneficial community.
A mutually
A
beneficial
mutually
community.
beneficial community.
An everlasting life.
An
An
everlasting.
everlasting life.
life.
Shem Hotep.
Shimotep.
Shimotep.
Madase, brother elder. Lots of food for thought. We'll be ingesting this and putting it into my life.
I finally
Madase.
get in.
She did that on purpose.
No, I didn't. I didn't. I promise. I promise. Also,
Why didn't it work?
thank you, Brother Hatim.
Thank you.
Brother Hatim, go out and look for the play. You Strike the Woman, You Strike the Rock. It came out in the 80s. It was a South African play. I saw it in New York. I even have a T-shirt that said, You strike the woman, you strike the rock. So go out and look for the play as well. They did a play on that proverb. Yes.
And also remember, this is Marcus Garvey's month as well. His birthday's on the 17th.
Yes. Oh, it's coming up soon, in about a week. Okay, everyone have a good day. Everyone, it was
Wait a minute.
starting a new year. It's a great thing. Yes. Shimotep.
Yeah, but Shep.
Shimotep.
Thank you, Shimotep.
Shimotep.